Um, if you had never seen a photograph of Tim Westwood, he used to do these hardcore sort of rap, the early days rap,
Yeah.
all the very best, including Busta Rhymes acts he brought to England, and he owned it because he was on the BBC and he had his own rap show. So he was introducing American music to UK, and no one else was doing it. So then he decided I can make a lot of money on this, and he decided to put on events in England and bring these guys over to introduce them. And he used to charge fortunes, and he put on about 8 events in our place. But I spoke to him the first time I had to speak to him, because he used to ring up and say, how are the ticket sales going? And he had a Jamaican patois accent. And I thought, oh, he must be, he must be from Tottenham or one of the, local black guys, because I never watched his show. And it was a radio show anyway, so I wouldn't know. Next thing he turns up and he's this pale-faced son of a Sussex preacher, I think he was, skinny, the most out of place guy you could have had on the night. This guy was running all of this. And he's speaking in a Jamaican accent to the black girls. They used to come in and buy the tickets, and they're looking at me and looking at him and saying, what's wrong with him? I said, that's your Tim Westwood. He said, that's Tim Westwood. Yeah, yeah, he thinks he's black. And he used to keep this going all the time. Now, I think over the years, he faded that away. But while he was in the game, yeah, he thought he was from Jamaica.
Have you seen the controversy about him?
Well, that didn't surprise me. That's all I'm saying. I'm not going to...
No.
Everything, but yes, I did not like him.
No.
He got too personal in everyone's business, and when you're running any type of big event, dance event, you're a popular guy.
Yeah.
And depends on what your fad is, but you can take advantage of that. Yeah. There's not a rave owner, including Terry Stone. He just said it recently in his podcast that he had women throwing himself at him. And by God, they accepted,
Yeah.
But he was, yeah. You see, all I'd say is this. The BBC show he did and the early days now of that rap scene that came to England was followed by a new young crowd. There was no such a thing as a 30 to 40-year-old rap lover because there was no history to it.
Yeah.
It just arrived, and any new music scene that takes by storm is always followed by teenagers. So that's the crowd we had for his events. I'd say we never saw anyone over 30, So yeah, I can see it. What happened was he got into a lot of trouble. A lot of people don't know this. Unfortunately, because he's a white guy, controlling all the acts, where they go, etc. A lot of new black promoters in England that were setting up couldn't get them tied to a contract because they're on a multi-deal contract with Westwood.
Yeah.
And Westwood's attitude, I'm sure he told me, he said, if you go with him, do one concert for anyone else, you're done with me. So go with them and enjoy, So they wouldn't do it. So they could only deal with small up-and-coming groups. And he started getting threats, dangerous threats from all these different yardie gangs and everything. So for some reason, I don't know why, I think it's because we dealt with a harder crowd. He didn't hire BBC security. He asked us to provide security and one guy with him nearly 24/7, which was a young Marine that I had working for me. He was only about 23. Simon was his name. One of the best guys I've ever had, but that soldier type. And he minded him for a year. And something happened that Simon didn't like, again, down to the controversy, he didn't like. And Simon said, Mick, I don't want to work for him anymore. I went, fine. And about a month later, he was driving through London and he got shot through the window of his car. And I don't know if he had security or not. I think he was shot in the leg or shot in the arm. He survived. He was lucky now. But they did try and kill him. And after that, he sort of faded away from the scene because he wasn't built for that game, you know. And he just went back to the radio and thought, listen, I forget all these, bringing these guys over, you know, leave it to them. Because they would have killed him off at some stage, you know, because he was closing the door on all the other promoters that tried to come up.
Well, you can understand